Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mind of STEM channel, where you get your daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm your host, Leon Jones, and in this segment, I'm going to talk about food technology. Why? Because many of us don't understand that there is a science behind the foods we eat. So, the question is going to be the title of this video. What is food technology? Well, food technology is a branch of science that deals with production, preservation, quality control, research, and development of food products. Now, early scientific research into food technology concentrated basically on food preservation. Now, Nicholas Appert's development in 1810 of the canning process was a decisive event. Now, the process wasn't called canning then, and Appert did not really know the principle on which his process worked. But canning has been a major impact on food preservation techniques. Now, Louis Pasteur's research on the spoilage of wine and his description of how to avoid spoilage in 1864 was an early attempt to apply scientific knowledge to food handling. Besides research into wine spoilage, Pasteur researched the production of alcohol, vinegar, wines, beer, and the souring of milk. From there, he developed pasteurization. Now, pasteurization is basically the process of heating milk and milk products to destroy food spoilage and disease producing organisms. Now, in his research into food technology, Pasteur became a pioneer into bacteriology and of modern preventive medicine. Now, when it comes to food technology, there have been developments. Now, remember, developments in food technology have contributed greatly to the food supply and have changed our world. Some of these developments are instant milk powder, or we call it dry milk. Uh, Dry milk was developed and it became the basis for a variety of new products that are rehydratable. The process increases the surface area of the powdered product by partially rehydrating sprayed dried milk powder. Powder. Correction, that was powder. Now there was freeze drying, which the application of freeze drying was most likely in the pharmaceutical industry. However, a successful large-scale application of the process was the development of continuous freeze drying of coffee. Then there was high temperature short time processing, because these processes for the most part are characterized by rapid heating and cooling, holding for a short time at a relatively high temperature and filling expectantly into sterile containers. We had the decaffeination of coffee and tea. This is where you get decaffeinated coffee and tea. Now, decaffeinated coffee and tea was basically developed first in Europe around 1900. Now, this process described in U.S. Patent 897-763, and that is green coffee beans are treated with water, heat, and solvents to remove the caffeine from the beans. Then, of course, there was process optimization. And it's very important because food technology now allows production of the foods to be more efficient. Oil-saving technologies are now available on different forms. Production methods and methodology have also become increasingly sophisticated. And then there's aesthetic packaging. Now, when I talk about aesthetics, we're talking about the look. And basically, aesthetic packaging is a process of filling a commercially sterile product into a sterile container and, for the most part, sealing the container so that reinfection is prevented. Thus, this results into a shelf-stable product at ambient conditions. Now, of course, when it comes to we as consumers, most consumers don't even pay attention to food technology. Nowadays, the food production chain is long, complicated, and food technologies are diverse. Consequently, customers are uncertain about the determinants of food quality and find it difficult to understand them. Now, acceptance of food products very often depends on perceived benefits and risk associated with food. Popular views of food processing technologies matter, especially innovative food processing technologies often are perceived risky by consumers. Acceptance of different food technologies vary. While pasteurization is well received and accepted, high temperature and even microwaves are basically perceived as risky. Studies in High Tech York project found that traditional technologies were well accepted in contrast to innovative technologies. Now, consumers form their attitude towards innovative food technologies through three main mechanisms. First, through knowledge or beliefs about risk and benefits correlated with technology. Second, through attitudes based on their own experience. And thirdly, through application of higher order values and beliefs. So, to complete this, a number of scholars consider the risk benefit trade off as one of the main determinants of consumer acceptance. Although some researchers place more emphasis on the role of the benefit perception rather than risk in consumer acceptance. Now, Rogers defines 5 major areas that explain the differences in the new acceptance of food technology. And this is by consumers. And they are complexity, compatibility, relative advantage, triability, and observability. Now, acceptance of innovative technologies can be improved by providing non-emotional and concise information about these new food technological process methods. The High Tech Project also suggests that written information has a higher impact on consumers than audio, visual information. And once again, when we talk about food technology is a branch of food science that deals with the production, preservation, quality control, research, and development of food products. Now that concludes this session on food technology from the Mind of STEM channel. On this channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. And if you want political information and news information, check out the 401 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. And you can check out my broadcast of the 401 Talk Zone radio show on Blog Talk Radio. Now, the information I'm delivering is researched. And here's what I want you to do for me. I want you to like, share, and subscribe to these videos. And make sure you leave a comment as well. I want you to understand the information on this channel is to get prospective students, whether they're adult or young, interested in STEM programs. So what you're getting is an overview. Now, lastly, if you can't find me on YouTube or Blog Talk Radio, just check me out on Twitter, MeWe, and Parler. Once again, I thank you for viewing this video from the Mind of STEM channel. On this channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. You all have a wonderful and gracious day.